So this video is just going to be me working on Samba, and then I'm going to make a separate video showing Prairie's latest. So what we're working on is I want to ask Samba to trot for longer periods of time. And I'm also still working on stopping her off my seat and getting a nice obedient stop without her throwing her head up. And we're also working on changes of bend and direction. So here she's doing a little bit of trot, and she does very well to the right. She's very willing. So here we're going to try to do a change of bend at the trot. And she has to come back down to a walk. She kind of lost it a little bit. And here we're just going to try to stay in a very small circle around my bucket. I'm giving her a turn in often enough to keep her on a small circle around that bucket, trying to just use my belly button. Working on a stop there. Now I'm asking for move out and turn in. I'm just trying to get her obedient here. And a stop and another turn in. And here I'm asking her for trot to the left. She really has her ears plastered back. She has a way of showing me her dismay. And when I say trot, she kind of gives a little snatch of her head. But she's doing it, and doing it rather well. I started out riding this week with my stirrup leathers where they've always been, as you can see here. And then I remembered that when I was doing all that riding without stirrups, you had suggested maybe letting them out a hole or two. So I did that. And I thought they would feel too long, but they actually felt pretty good. Here I'm asking for another move out. And I'm going to try to do like a semblance of a square around this bucket in move out. Trying to stop her at the corners. She really has a tendency to keep going, but I don't want to discourage her. I'm going to ask for move out again. And when I want her to turn in again, to stay on this little square or circle or whatever kind of figure it is, basically I just have to turn my upper body and she gets it. Here you can really see my stirrup leathers being longer. That was a nice stop. So we're trying to do this trot thing and change bend and direction. And she's getting a little fast and a little, her head is coming up. She feels very bumpy. So here's what I did to try to get that under control. When I approach the area where I want to change bend, I stop her and I give her move out onto the direction of the new circle. And we're just doing this in walk initially. And she really twigs onto this, as you'll see. And I'm going to stop her here. She didn't stop very obediently there. And I'm going to give her move out onto the new circle. this is just another repetition of the same. I'm going to stop her here, then give her move out onto the new circle. She's really doing a lot of blowing here. I get the feeling that she's releasing a lot of tension from her confusion. I've just explained this to her, and she's like, aha, I got it. Again, stop. And that was a pretty good stop. She raised her head a little bit, but she didn't throw her head. And some move out. Okay, so now we're going to try this thing at a trot. And this is her good side. We're going to the right first. Coming up to that change. And she's like, okay, I got this. And I gave her a little pat for doing good. That was a good stop. And we're going to do this change again at the trot. So she's going around her good side first, this to the right. And I notice if I let the outside rein kind of slide through my fingers by an inch or two, and then quietly bring it back when we change direction, she seems to get that. She understands to change bend doing that. And check it out, she does like 3 consecutive changes here, and she's getting a bit more energy here. Here she kind of loses it, her head pops up, and she flies off the circle. And maybe once or twice a week, we're still practicing the canter. I'm dressed like a bum here because I'm going to do some weed whacking in the backyard right after this. Not a great camera angle, but she's doing good.